The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis decrying horrific acts against children. An ex-con accused of raping a woman in her home. 2 more illegal coal production sites shut down. And the Dundas getting some much-needed help. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesne will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about which home improvement projects will net the most returns on your investment, the pros and the cons of doing such projects. That's coming up. You don't want to miss it. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis says that a recent case involving a father who got a 5-year prison sentence for molesting his twin 3-year-old daughters is horrific. He told the Nassau Guardian when asked for a reaction to the case, quote, "It should not be happening in our country. Fathers need to be caring and protective rather than predators of their children, and the full brunt of the law always should be brought to bear in circumstances such as this." Davis said he thought the offense warranted life in prison, but added that he was not sure of the law. The father was charged with 2 counts of indecent assault against his daughters, which carries a maximum penalty of only 8 years, as opposed to unlawful sexual intercourse with a relative, which carries a maximum life sentence if the perpetrator is an adult and the victim is a minor. Davis stressed that he was not trying to step on the toes of the judge who presided over the case, adding that it is the judiciary and not the executive branch of government that determines sentences. You may recall that father was given the 5-year sentence on Friday after Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson rejected a lesser sentence proposed by the prosecution and defense. A man who served a 30-year sentence for rape and burglary returned to prison days after he allegedly raped a 73-year-old woman during a home invasion. Prosecutors say 46-year-old Ricardo Bannister committed the rape and burglary on January 30th in New Providence soon after his release from prison. Bannister of Price Street in Nassau Village did not have to enter pleas to the charges when he made his initial appearance before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans. He was remanded to prison because the magistrate lacks the jurisdiction to consider bail for the offenses. However, Bannister was advised of his right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court. The matter was adjourned to May 19th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment that will move his case to the Supreme Court. According to police, Bannister was recently released from prison after he completed a sentence that was imposed on March 27th, 2002. Three foreigners accused of getting Bahamian passports by using fake documents have been granted $6,000 cash bail each. 32-year-old Larny Nova of the Dominican Republic is accused of submitting a forged certificate of registration and a forged immigration letter to the passport office. Nova allegedly fraudulently obtained a Bahamian passport in 2024. Likewise, her compatriot, 56-year-old maintenance worker Teofilo Tavares, is also accused of getting a Bahamian passport last year by submitting forged documents. And 38-year-old Ruslin Espinoza, a Cuban cigar maker, allegedly got a Bahamian passport in 2024 by the same means. They denied the allegations at their arraignment before senior magistrate Kendra Kelly. As all of the accused hold valid work permits, the prosecution did not object to bail. They are required to sign in at police stations once a month until their trials, which start in May. Meanwhile, a Bahamian man and a Haitian woman are accused of conspiring to commit fraud after a Haitian-born teen was found with a Bahamian passport. Ricardo Pyfram, his 17-year-old stepson, and Cillian Durolin denied the charge when they appeared before Kelly. The teen was further accused of having a false passport in the name of James Pyfram and obtaining the passport through fraud. He denied the allegations with the assistance of a Creole interpreter. The minor returns to court later the week for a bail hearing. Meanwhile, Pyfram and Durolin, a Bahamian citizen, were each granted $4,000 bail. They returned to court in May for trial. Two illegal charcoal manufacturing sites in the Golden Isles constituency were shut down by the government. The Minister of Environment, Vaughn Miller, says work will be done to ensure they cannot begin operations again. There have been long complaints from residents about the environmental and health impacts of the coal production and unregulated sites. Miller says he's calling for the people responsible for the sites to be punished to the maximum extent of the law. He says there is a demand for coal and noted that the government is willing to consider the regulated production at appropriate sites. And the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts is no longer facing the threat of permanent closure after the government signed an historic memorandum of understanding with the board and committed to provide $348,000 to fund urgent repairs to the property and enable the reopening of the main theater. Meanwhile, Philip Burrows saying that the upgrades will help to get the Dundas long way. You can read more about it in today's Nassau Guardian. Overseas, Hamas has brushed off U.S. President Donald Trump's recent threat that, quote, all hell will break out if it does not release the remaining Israeli hostages held in the Gaza Strip by Saturday. A Hamas spokesman saying today that the dozens of hostages would only be returned if all parties remain committed to a ceasefire deal reached last month. The spokesperson saying, quote, Trump must remember that there is an agreement that must be respected by both parties, adding that threatening language only complicates matters. Hamas has threatened to delay the next release of 3 Israeli hostages due Saturday, accusing Israel of violating the ceasefire agreement, including by not allowing a surge of tents and shelters into the devastated territory. While Trump says the ceasefire should be canceled if Hamas doesn't release all the remaining hostages Saturday, he also said such a decision would be up to Israel. During the first phase of the ceasefire, Hamas has committed to freeing a total of 33 hostages captured in its October 7, 2023 attack in exchange for Israel releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. The sides have carried out 5 swaps since January 19th, freeing 21 hostages and over 730 Palestinian prisoners so far. The war could resume in early March if no agreement is reached on the more complicated second phase of the ceasefire, which calls for the return of all remaining hostages and an indefinite extension of the truce. European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen vowing today that U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum will not go unanswered, adding that they will trigger tough countermeasures from the 27-nation bloc. Von der Leyen saying in a statement in reaction to Donald Trump's imposition of tariffs on steel and aluminum on Monday, saying, quote, "The EU will act to safeguard its economic interests. Tariffs are taxes, bad for business, worse for consumers. Unjustified tariffs on the EU will not go unanswered. They will trigger firm and proportionate countermeasures." Meanwhile, in Germany, home of the EU's largest economy, Chancellor Olaf Scholz telling Parliament that, quote, "If the U.S. leaves us no other choice, then the European Union will react united," saying that trade wars always cost both sides prosperity. Trump is hitting foreign steel and aluminum with a 25% tax in the hope that they will give local producers relief from intense global competition, allowing them to charge higher prices. He imposed similar tariffs during his first presidency, but the move damaged relations with key U.S. allies and drove up costs for downstream manufacturers that buy steel and aluminum. And a crowd of 500 descended from dusty trucks on a recent morning and shuffled through a tiny gap in a border gate separating Haiti from the Dominican Republic. They were the first deportees of the day, some still clad in their work clothes and others barefoot. Migrants recounting what they say were abuses by Dominican officials after President Luis Abinader ordered them in October to start deporting at least 10,000 immigrants a week under a harsh new policy widely criticized by civil organizations. The number of alleged human rights violations ranging from unauthorized home raids to racial profiling to deporting breastfeeding mothers and unaccompanied minors is surging as officials ramp up deportations to Haiti, which shares the island of Hispaniola with the Dominican Republic. More than 250,000 people were deported last year, and more than 31,200 in January alone. And at least 55 people are dead after their bus plunged into a gorge and landed under a bridge on the outskirts of Guatemala's capital city, Guatemala City, on Monday. Investigators from the public ministry said there were 53 bodies recovered at the scene, and the San Juan de Dios hospital confirming that 2 passengers brought there had also died. Firefighters saying a multi-vehicle crash sent the bus off the road and into the steep gorge below the bridge before dawn. Others were seriously injured. The bus fell 115 feet into a sewage-polluted stream. It landed upside down and half submerged. It's time for sports, brought to you by Kalik. In their quest for 4 basketball titles in the BAISS this year, the St. John's College Giants had to settle for 2 wins Monday and suffered 2 losses at the best-of-3 championships. They're underway now at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. So the Giants senior boys were the school's only basketball team not to win a title last year, and they sent a statement to the Queens College Comets, knocking them off 76-60 in Game 1 of that series. The Giants junior girls also prevailed, turning back the Charles Saunders Cougars 34-20. The other 2 divisions were a different story. In the junior boys, Prince William Falcons, without a fourth quarter rally from the Giants, won 51-42. The Giants senior girls were never a threat to the pennant-winning and top-seeded Kingsway Academy Saints, losing 40-19. Game 2 in all 4 series will be played Wednesday at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. Caribbean Pickleball Championships and Caribbean Nations Cup took place over the weekend in Grand Cayman. Championships included events in men's doubles, women's doubles, mixed doubles, and singles for both open and senior categories. A number of players on Team Bahamas earned medals. We've got all the details in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Luka Doncic was the last starter introduced by the Los Angeles Lakers, an honor normally reserved for LeBron James. When Doncic jogged into the spotlight on a darkened court last night through his teammates, his new fans stood and roared while wearing thousands of gold t-shirts with his name and number. Doncic's debut with the Lakers, brief and successful Monday night, but it is getting everyone excited for what could come in the days and even years ahead in Los Angeles. Doncic scoring 14 points while playing just 23 minutes, immediately getting into the flow with James and his teammates during LA's 132-113 victory over the Utah Jazz. Doncic added 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Grateful to be playing basketball after nearly 7 weeks of injury, Doncic was happy to begin to move past the upheaval in his life ever since the Dallas Mavericks shocked the sports world 10 days ago by trading their 25-year-old centerpiece and NBA scoring champion. He got multiple standing ovations from the LA crowd wearing thousands of number 77 shirts, but his pregame introduction was something he says he'll remember for a long time. And Fox Sports is projecting a Super Bowl record average audience of 126 million U.S. viewers across television and streaming platforms for the Philadelphia Eagles' 40-22 victory over Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night. The game was televised by Fox, Fox Deportes, and Telemundo, and streamed on Tubi as well as the NFL's digital platforms. Fox's projections on Monday included Nielsen's early numbers and streaming data from Tubi and the NFL. Updated and more complete numbers are expected today. It will be the second straight year that the Super Bowl has reached a record audience. The Chiefs' 25-22 overtime victory over San Francisco last year averaged 123.7 million on CBS, Nickelodeon, Univision, and streaming platforms. According to Fox, the audience peaked at 135.7 million in the second quarter. Of course, that does not include the worldwide audience. But that's sports, brought to you by Kalik and Kalik Victory Fest. The Kalik, the Bear of the Bahamas, inviting you to Victory Fest 2025. Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler's Square for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year's Day Junkanoo champions, the Saxon Superstars. The Junkanoo season may be over, but the celebration is just getting started. Enjoy music by Playhouse DJs Little Giant and DJ Tank, and performing live fans Sean and D-Mac. Celebrate the 4 straight Junkanoo winners, the Saxon Superstars, with Kalik Victory Fest March 1st. And we've got your first look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. We've got a weak ridge of high pressure that continues to dominate the weather across the country, supporting gentle to moderate breezes. Weak troughing near the northern Bahamas will enhance the chance of light to occasionally moderate shower activity across the northern islands before dissipating today. That ridge is going to strengthen slightly and continue to dominate for the majority of the week. A low-pressure system expected to develop and move off the coast of the Carolinas by midweek, and that's going to drag a cold front near the northern Bahamas before moving eastwards across the Atlantic by Friday. And then deep layered ridging will weaken slightly this weekend, allowing for a stronger cold front to move into the country by late Sunday. and finally, hopefully, bring down the temperature a bit. Beachgoers are advised not to get into the waters of the southeast Bahamas and to exercise caution along Atlantic shorelines, as we're expecting a moderate to high risk of rip currents. For today, we are looking at partly sunny and warm conditions today. For most areas, a mix of sun and clouds for the northwestern islands, including New Providence. We've got about a 20 to 30% chance of showers in the northern and northwest Bahamas, especially Grand Bahama, and about a 10% chance of showers this afternoon. Less than 10% chance for the central and southeastern islands today. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs again in the mid-80s, around 84 Fahrenheit and 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 67 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. Screening for colorectal cancer should begin at the age of 45. Reduce your risk for colon cancer and schedule your colonoscopy today at reduced prices for the months of March and April at the office of Dr. Harold Munnings, located next to Princess Margaret Hospital. They're offering an even lower price for those who present their NHI cards. Give them a call, 328-5550. That's 328-5550, Grosvenor Medical Center.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
The CIBC Caribbean Realtors Hub helps potential homeowners meet their best fit. Phew!
Honey, you missed a spot.
Enjoy up to 95% financing and up to 35 years to repay. And in the Realtors Hub, you'll discover everything you need to know about finding and buying your dream home.
I'm on it, dear.
Make your biggest move yet. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/Realtors Hub to get started today.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or are tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is rolling out new digital meters designed to give you more accurate readings. With advanced technology, you'll be able to monitor your water usage in real time, get more accurate bills and early leak detection to avoid costly surprises. Better service starts now. Watch for our installation team in your neighborhood and get ready to experience the convenience of digital meters. Follow us on our social media platforms for more information. Digital meters from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Innovative, convenient, and designed for you.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 4224796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duquesa Dean.
Good morning.
Good morning, Duquesa. Great to have you with us.
Thanks. Good to be here this morning. You look mighty handsome this morning.
What?
Yeah. What did you do? You did something different, or did you just get your hair done?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, seriously. You look different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look like you're glowing. And I know you're not pregnant, so.
Well, okay. I don't think so. But thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Making me blush now. You look great, too.
Thanks.
Oh, boy. I can't even focus now. Coming up this morning, we've got a lot to talk about in the news, but also in business, we're going to be talking about home improvement projects, the ones that will help you to see a big return on your investment, especially if you're looking to sell your home, the do's and the don'ts of home improvement projects. You don't want to miss that in business this morning. That's all ahead. But right now, let's get into what's in the news. And in the news, a big headline in the Nassau Guardian, PM decries horrific act against children. We were talking about this yesterday on the show. The father accused of sexually assaulting his twin daughters, 3 years old at the time. We're going to get to that in just a bit. I just want to read this story, which is extremely, extremely disturbing in the paper today. Ex-con accused of raping woman, a 73-year-old woman in her home. Our Artesia Davis writing about it. A man who served a 30-year sentence for rape and burglary returned to prison on Monday, days after he allegedly raped a 73-year-old woman during a home invasion. Prosecutors say 46-year-old Ricardo Bannister, 46, he was in jail for 30 years.
Right. 16?
Seems so. Committed the rape and burglary on January 30th in New Providence, soon after his release from prison. Bannister of Price Street in Nassau Village did not have to enter pleas to the charges when he made his initial appearance before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans. He was remanded to prison because the magistrate lacks the jurisdiction to consider bail for the offenses. Bannister was advised of his right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court. The matter has been adjourned to May 19th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment that will move his case to the Supreme Court. According to police, Bannister was recently released from prison after he completed a sentence that was imposed on March 27th, 2002. Okay, so that wasn't 30 years.
So he may have had a 30-year sentence, but didn't serve it.
The short, the good behavior we see around here often. This is
Are prison years like calendar years, though?
I know we're seeking to change it. I don't know if it's official yet, but so he barely served 20, 21, 22, 22 years maybe. Wow.
I came out and did the exact same thing that he did to get in.
Yeah. So this is what I was asking you off air. So obviously there's little rehabilitation going on, or if there is, it didn't work on him.
Yeah.
But this is the concern that so many people have. What type of person will you be when you are released from an institution like that, where people are the normal routine, as they say their words, normal routine of emptying your night waste bucket? Are you going to be someone that can live amongst other people when you get out? And if you have an issue like this where you break into people's homes and rape people, are you getting the help you need to be a productive citizen?
And that's the key question right there, right? When you consider the overcrowdedness of the prison, is it even practical for us to believe that it is possible for all of the inmates to go through a process of rehabilitation? You know, the demand and the load on the operators of the prison is, again, a big one.
Yeah.
And I mean, within days, like not 3 months or, hey, I'm out of prison, let me just, chill for a little bit. But I mean, like days, like literal days after you're out of prison, you just want to go right back to that.
My goodness, let's get your reaction to that before we get into the other story. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. My gosh.
I mean, and then a 73-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Now let's be real. Some mature women really look good. Like when I was young.
I don't think it matters.
No, I'm just saying the age is 73 and he broke in a house and there was a woman.
This is the thing. We've had so many cases of women in their 70s and older getting raped.
What is that?
So the age clearly is not a factor. If you're just there, you're vulnerable. They're taking advantage of you. It doesn't matter how you look or the age, it seems.
It's sad.
It's
sad.
Yeah. And so we need to really, really keep this in mind. And a lot of older women are facing this. And family members need to look out. Look out. They are seemingly among the most in danger with psychopaths like this. Let's take this call quickly, and then I do want to get to the big story with the Prime Minister and this matter with the father and his twin babies, pretty much babies, right? Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Professor.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, got it right.
You got it right.
Thank you. Hey, Dwight. My question is, right, the guy who got released from who got sentenced at 6th stage, right?
Well, that's not. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But
he got a 30-year sentence, and he's only served about 22 years.
Right, for rape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to say, right? If 20 years ago a fella could have get sentenced for rape, we don't know who it was, and it ain't important at this time, right? But right in these modern days time, right, we saw an incident that we talked about yesterday, right? And he got 4 years.
It's very different. It's very different. So we're going to get
different.
to it's
okay.
The
All right,
law
now let's
is
go back
strange.
To the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the prison, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
When you the prison has a name. I mean, right now it has correction on it. It didn't have correction on it when this guy got sentenced, right? But the state of the prison never changed, right? Over 20 years when it relates to correction, right? Because
I don't know if that's accurate either.
Right. What is the policy? What is some of the plans or the prison could tell us, right? Or could show us or demonstrate to the public about correction at that facility? And
all right, so that's a good question. The thing is that I don't know if it's mandatory. There are programs. They have been trying to upgrade the facilities. But is it mandatory for people to do certain things?
Yeah.
Are you required to do this and do that, or who's allowed to do this? And I don't know. And so they need to do a better job of letting us know what they do up there.
Yes, Dwight. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, Dwight, if you have a facility called correction, right? That should be mandatory. You because you are not no longer. You are the property of the Bahamas government, right? And if you become the property of the Bahamas government, right, that means it's their responsibility to ensure that when you reach back in the public on your own, right, you have some inkling of what needs to happen, right? You shouldn't have a choice to decide if you want to be corrected, right? And then you still end up on inside in the public, right? That's ludicrous, right? And then for a man to be locked down as long as he was, and then he come in this climate would we exist today, right? This climate would to be locked up for 20 years and come in this climate, where you go, ain't nothing there. And then especially if you didn't have no correction done to you, right? What are you going to do when the atmosphere is still, is even more welcoming today than 20 years to because these people listening to they're getting reports of what's happening now. They know what's going on the outside.
I have lots of questions. So if you're sentenced to 30 years, and yes, we're unclear about whether the prison year is the same at the moment.
Right.
I know Wayne Monroe talked about this, changing this. Whether that is in effect, I don't know yet. But we do need to know how this works. So how is it that he was allowed to be released? Did he have to go before a parole board? Did he have to make a case? Did he have to answer questions? Did he have to prove that he was better now? Did he fake his way out? I have so many questions, and we need these folks to explain.
Yes, sir.
The prison system needs to explain. Everybody needs to explain how this works.
Right.
How this works, because just last year we know much old elderly women were raped last year alone.
It seems to be quite a few, and this is very disturbing.
Yeah, but and my last point, right? I hope we live to see some type of department or something, right? Just responsible for elderly, because if we are not, if we not noticing, right, the elderly population is growing tremendously in our country, and it seems like ain't all of them reached that age and was financially equipped to safeguard themselves or their properties. But it appears that the society is not interested in the elderly until something happens to them. It has to be a new look, because if you can't take care of your toddlers being raped and your elderly is being raped, what type of society what message we send into the world? when they can look and see these things happening repeatedly inside our country, man, Dwight.
Yeah, well, we have to do something about it, right? We know the people. Thanks so much for calling. We know the people who are a danger to us, and but we just are very lenient.
Yeah.
Lenient with this.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if we can have investors who would build, or if we can gather our own set of investors who would build like a secure housing facility for, for senior living. Like, where people who are not ill, they can have a community where they're sick and they can, have activities together and all that sort of stuff. We need something like that. I think would be
retirement village.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, we need some long pockets, but anything is possible.
Hey, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, DeQuesta. Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Very interesting conversation just now. Three things popped at me as I listened. First and foremost, yes, what is the procedure at BDOCs? Where is the corrective and the rehabilitation policies and programs? I don't think we have heard sufficient to make a determination that BDOCs is when someone goes in there, they're being reformed to come back out into society as a reformed person.
Yeah. There are some examples. We've had a few on the show even, right? But I don't know if it's across the board. I don't know if everybody gets that opportunity. Do you have to say, I want to sign up for this? Or are you made to do these courses and interact with people in this way? I don't know.
That is exactly the direction that I'm going in. It should not be, as the previous caller stated, it should not be whether I want in or out. It should be mandatory because obviously, if you're up there, if you are incarcerated, if I could use that word respectfully, if you're incarcerated up there, then obviously whatever the penalty was that you went up there, you should have been having some type of process where either you will be remorseful for what you have done, or the signs will be, and this is where my other point comes in, where's the psychiatric evaluation of these persons?
Right.
Do they do psychiatric evaluations to see whether they will reoffend once they come out in the public, or whether they are reformed? Yeah. You see, these are some of the things that the people are asking. My last point here is this. In terms of careers, in the prison system, I remember some time back they used to have them doing license plates or something like that. Now, I know that they do one or two things down there, but how extensive is the career opportunities in the prison to allow these guys that, listen, I don't have to do what I came up here for in the first place, but I have a choice now, whereas we know the average person, depending upon the crime that was committed or alleged to have been committed by the person, you may not be employed by any person out here. But at least when you come out, you may be able to do something for yourself to start your small business, to get to find a way to have a career, make some money, so you would not have to go back toward the life of crime. At least you would think second or thirdly. To do it, but at least give you an opportunity to improve yourself. These are just some of the thoughts that popped into my head just now while listening.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. One more call on this, and then I want to move to what the Prime Minister is saying. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Miss Bean.
Good morning.
Say the Prime Minister has something to say about this.
Well, about the father with the twins yesterday, the babies yesterday.
And so much things we wish he could say.
You might want to hold on or call us back after you hear with the Prime Minister.
Okay, that's true. But let me say what I call to say that. I only said that because you said it before you come to me. Okay? All right, Dwight. I think even in the old folks, we call it old folks home, in the homes what Miss Dean was suggesting, saying we securely straight.
Well, I think she's talking about something a little more resort-like.
Sophisticated, like where you're paying stuff.
Yeah, like rent.
Like where you have
we
your
can
own.
rent, a little place.
Yeah, even in them places, sick-minded people.
Indeed. I was thinking that while she was saying they want to burst her bubble. A lot of crazy stuff can happen there, too.
Really? Wow.
They could try things to the old people. It seems
Lots
like
of crazy stuff happens.
Can you hear me, Dwight?
Yes,
I can hear
you can,
you.
yes.
I'm agreeing with you.
We talking at the same time. time.
No, sorry. Yeah, I was just agreeing with you.
I love the sarcasm.
I know it's disrespectful. I know they teach me, say, shut up when people talking. So I don't want to talk while you talk.
I'm so sorry.
I could talk while you, if you want to talk while you talk.
You got a whole apology from Dwight. Boy.
Okay.
I
So
apologize.
I'm saying that them things can happen even anywhere, right? It seems like it's an attack on our old people, right? And it's just as second as that, the sound with the twins, them, right? You can imagine one morning. I don't know how you all feel out there, men or women, because you get granddaddies and daddies too. When we wake up and hear that a senior citizen man was molested and raped, like how these women are being raped. There should be serious penalties when we get these people, not just accuse somebody, because that person could be innocent. When we prove the evidence prove that they guilty and we convict them and they had previous records doing these things before, we need to bring back the cat nine tail. If we take it off the book and if it's there, we need to use it. These people ruining, they mentally disturbing old people and ruining people in life. You understand? That's like a baby or old woman and you go to, it's like plenty of our older people live by themselves and us children, we need to pay more attention. Yeah, mommy and daddy stop and they think they can do it, but let's pay attention. Let's do things. Let's suggest a surveillance camera. Let's do some things to man. And when the government, like I say, convict these people, make a serious example of them. Look at the other day. Now we getting a cry and carry on by. That's two twins. You know that sound to me like you're trying to get something out of rock or the green fruit. Like 3-year-old. My God, come on. Even if it was 1 year old or 5 years old, what you could get out of that? That didn't sound real to me. I say, are you who accusing this person? Were you molested? Are you do? Come on, man. I want, but I understand some sick things happening right now. Look at the other day when you reported on the news. You say the little girl says she only she tell that lie on her daddy because she want her mommy and daddy to come back together. You know what I keep pointing out to you, the blind man, not the one who could see, who could read these things, all y'all who could see these papers and reading it. Ask questions and demand certain things. The doctor report say the hymen wasn't in the place. In spite of the court say and the little girl say she lied on her daddy. The doctors, elect doctors to be lying on people, say that little girl was molested. Who do that? Who getting punished for that? So we need to stop pussyfooting around and deal with this situation. Thank you, Dwight.
Wow. Okay, lots of passion.
Passion, lots of passion.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, let's take this really quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you. Can I approach this from a solution point of view? Because all we've been hearing about
solution for rape. Yeah.
For humanity.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of dream therapy?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I have.
No,
but,
you have.
Okay.
But you would know it's a technique that could be used to identify and treat mental issues. Okay? And it is done through accessing the reticular activating system. I was talking about this maybe years ago on your show because it's that approach that I believe would bring great success, not only to our society, but to the world. Dream therapy, all right? Because, see, it works simply. If I could just break it down quickly. Nobody knows when you fall asleep. Nobody knows when you wake up. But whatever your brain is doing just before you wake up, that sort of dominates your day. I wish I could talk about it more because I have some friends of mine, some who are doctors and accountants who are experimenting with me with this, and it works, right?
Okay.
All right.
Well, I suspect the people who need it the most won't be the ones who will volunteer to take part in this. But oh well, I hear you. This texture says, "This is for you, Duquesa. I looked at building a retirement village, but the cost of electricity and other costs were just too sky high and made it a lost cause."
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's gonna major.
Wow.
That'd be like investing in a resort.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But hey, we got a lot of. I think Grand Bahama would be perfect for something like that.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
right.
All right, so this is big. The Prime Minister speaking about that matter we talked about yesterday, which on Friday, this man, he admitted that he sexually molested his twin daughters, 3-year-old twins. His teen daughter walked in on him doing that, saw him naked on top of one of her sisters.
On top of a child.
And so he got 5 years. The judge gave him 5 years in prison. Shockingly, the prosecutor and the defense lawyer were suggesting 4 years because he's never been found guilty of anything before, and he admitted that he was guilty. But even 5 years, the maximum was 8 years that he could get. Why 8 years? He We'll get to that in a bit because that doesn't make sense
Right.
either. But hey, but he got 5. So the Prime Minister was asked about this yesterday. His comments are quite surprising, folks. Take a listen to this.
In this instance, I would have thought that life would have been the maximum sentence in this instance. My recollection, after life. Right. But the judge, in his own deliberate judgment, I would have thought, taking into consideration the circumstances of the victims, the circumstances attendant to the perpetrator, they determined that 5 years was appropriate. The events you're talking about is horrific. I mean, this should not be happening in our country. Our fathers need to be caring and protective rather than predators of their children. And the full brunt of the law always should be brought to bear in circumstances such as this.
Okay. So here's why this is problematic. Because I think many of us will agree, life should have been the possible sentence here. But the Prime Minister, also a lawyer, why does he not know that in this matter, he said he didn't.
Right, he said he wasn't sure of the law.
But it's only 8 years.
Right.
And you can change this.
Right.
You can immediately.
Wait, let me just ask, can he sign an executive order?
No, that's not necessary. You got the majority of the House.
Right.
Draft the law to change it. Change it before the end of March. Right. I would say February. But anyway, do it.
Do it swiftly.
Change it. Now that you know, change it. You can change it. You can change it. You should change it. There are plenty of other things you should change. You can do it. Yeah. Lots of things we're shocked at exist in this country, but you've got the power to change it.
Just do it. Agree.
Just do it. Yeah. You don't need a referendum. You don't need even long talks with people. You don't have to have, for this one, I don't think you need any consult, do you?
I think everybody would stand in agreement.
Well, the thing is, maybe life is better because if you come out and you're still doing the same crime, obviously you're not learning anything. So yes, life, lock up for life. Right. How about that? But that is what's disturbing because we're acting like we're so handicapped we can't do anything. Right. I don't know. Why is it like this? Oh, no, you can change this. Yeah. Take a listen to this in today's National Guardian. Our Tanika Thompson writing about it. So Prime Minister Philip Davis said yesterday that a recent case involving a father who got a 5-year prison sentence for molesting his twin 3-year-old daughters is horrific. You heard what he said. Davis said he thought the offense warranted life in prison, but added that he was not sure of the law. So the father was charged with 2 counts of indecent assault against his daughters. Indecent assault against his daughters, which carries a maximum penalty of 8 years. This was opposed to the unlawful sexual intercourse with a relative charge. He did not get that, which carries a maximum life sentence. So the question is here also, why was he not charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a relative? Why indecent assault? Maybe there is particulars. Maybe they don't have any evidence to support the fact that it was sexual intercourse.
Well, wouldn't intercourse be penetration? Right. Include, maybe that didn't happen, so we don't know. Yeah,
maybe that's why they went in this direction,
right?
And so questions have to be asked. We already side-eyeing the judge, not the judge, sorry, the prosecutor and the the defense lawyers will try whatever they can try. But why they didn't go with unlawful sexual intercourse? I guess maybe they wouldn't have been able to prove it.
Right.
But it was indecent assault. But if we do feel like.
Right, and then
assault.
And then
such a weird charge.
And then at the end, you're just not trying to step on the toes of the judges.
That's not what anyone's doing.
Right.
But again, why was he charged with that as opposed to something that could have possibly netted a life sentence? As we've suggested, perhaps there's no evidence to support that.
Yeah, but even with the indecent insult, 8 years maximum is still an insult.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's still an insult. So it should be where that maximum is increased to fit different circumstances, right? And then a judge has leeway to say
Yes,
10 years,
absolutely.
15 years, or something like that. But a maximum of 8 years. And then this law was created at a time when.
We don't know.
So we definitely need to go back to the books and look at some of the antiquated laws.
Perhaps 8 years
You
is
know,
not enough for
it's-
indecent
right.
assault, as you're saying.
Yeah.
So don't act helpless, Prime Minister. You can do something about all of this. We question all of this vehicular manslaughter.
All of
we
it.
question that. We question why there are no fault divorces, right? Plenty of people are suffering because of these things. What are we sitting around doing while you all play games in the house with maces? God knows what that's supposed to do, right? How about you get serious and fix the problems in the country?
And the social ills are getting worse and worse and worse. And no one is really paying full attention to it. So I'm 100% with you, Dwight, that, look at fixing some of the things that can easily be fixed. It doesn't have to, it's not a process that's going to take forever. This is small, low-hanging fruit.
Relatively.
Right? That many of the issues are low-hanging fruit that could immediately be resolved and at least give the impression that you're doing something to help the community.
And as we said yesterday, which comes back to what we were talking about earlier, the things that the judge said, and I think they're pretty fair in this, but she ordered that he get a psychiatric evaluation, which is like, what, that wasn't happening all this time? And therapy for the children, including the daughter who walked in on this. Right? I mean, so I hope to God that someone had already thought about that, right? Is that not who we are?
Make it mandatory.
I don't understand. That has to be said by the judge. Tell me that was happening already. Right? Let's get your reaction, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning to class, I think.
Good morning.
Yeah. See, that's what is really bothers me. You hit the nail on the head. It's like these gentlemen in power, they know the problem. They know that they have intricate knowledge of the problem. Like, that's why I got so upset with Ray Monroe when he became Minister of National Security, because he knows the system intimately. And he knows the problems that are there. Even with the health ministers, it's like they know the system with the hospital intricately, but yet when they get in power, they're like a fireman shows up on the scene as the house is burning down and a fire truck full of water. And they're saying, oh, wow, I wish I could do more. And it's so sad, the house is burning down. And meanwhile, they have the power to do something.
Wow.
But they do nothing.
That's powerful.
It's like, it's like, remember when Minister said, do you have a heart or do you have a soul? It's like, what good is it to gain the world and lose your soul? Because these men and women in Parliament, they know the issues. They are parents, they are brothers, they are sisters.
They represented some of the people on both sides, victims and perpetrators. So they know, as you say, they know
How could you
how
have
this
the
works.
power to help and not do it and willingly not do it? That's what baffles me every day in this country. These men and women know, it's not like in the United States where you have a House and a Senate that has to agree. And they have full control. They can pass almost any law they want to, but they refuse to do so. Help me understand, Dwight. Please help me understand.
I need it too. I don't understand.
When the only thought that I have on that, Dwight, is that when you are in power, is a limited amount of time. It's 5 years. So if you are a defense lawyer, I'm just saying,
I'm wasting time.
I'm not saying that this is right.
Who won the softball game and who they went to visit what party last night at the house with the church and no, stop wasting time. Get to it.
Think about this now. I'm not saying this is right. If you fix it, right, and you make it flawless, how do you make money when your 5 years is up? How do you? Who are the criminals?
That's a very sinister way of looking at this.
I mean, why?
That can't be.
But it has to be.
That's what we've been saying. But defense attorneys trying to fix the problem they make money on.
What other reason could
I
there be?
refuse to believe that. And there'll always be.
Why would I send someone to prison for life if my job is to represent them going in the court and getting all the trouble?
All right, so if we take that, right? If we take what you're saying as this is how it is, so what are we doing? We just say we're wasting time,
Absolutely.
right? You agree?
I say what happens is the public needs to come together and demand more.
Yeah.
What is
we
the
don't stick
evidence showing
together.
Mm-mm.
What is the evidence showing you?
We don't stick together because we let politics divide us.
Wow.
That's the problem. Certain things are big in politics or should be big in politics, right?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Because at the end of the day, me and you might have our disagreements, but we still want to live in a safe country. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can argue and talk and fight and whatever, but at the end of the day, we still want to be safe. We still want our sister to be safe. We still want to know that our elderly mother, while she is home and around to work, she is safe home. Like, certain things are big in politics, but Bahamians just don't seem to get it.
Thank you very much. Very disturbing. I hope that is not how they're thinking. That really, that just, I know we keep saying it, people keep joking, but it cannot be the reason.
I mean, come on. You have a set amount of time in Parliament. Let's just look at it. You flip-flop. 1 year is this people, the next year is that people. You only have a certain amount. What do you do with your primary job? Because that's not your primary job. That's like an interim job for 4 or 5 years. So what do you do? Wow. Do you fix it so that when you come out,
Well,
like...
then, the problem is us. Because if you sit back and say that's how it is, I can't do anything about it, then you're the problem.
A part of the problem. I mean,
maybe the biggest part.
Because if you're not, if you're not doing anything about it,
because the stuff that gets passed is like, where did this come from? Who needs this? This will clearly benefit 7 people. What about
I'm not laughing.
this?
I'm not laughing. I'm really not laughing, but I am.
Ah, man. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, you say listen first what he has to say, then comment, right?
Yes. Let's hear what you have to say now.
Yeah, so listening to what he had to say, right? I think with the most respect, right? I have to agree with you. The most respect on the prime minister. Someone need to tell him that he in a position that he can do something about it right now. He can change it. He get the most members in parliament, like you say, he can change it. But if if some of you people out there might refuse to believe that they leave these loopholes there, like Ms. B and D saying, so it's all about money. Well, let's refuse to believe that. Do you refuse also to believe that they don't care about us? And they just faking when they come on, and they should shut up with the most respect if they don't have nothing with sense to say that what they going to do? They just faking. Unless this happen to their wife or their children, what you would say, the doorstep, then they'll do something about it. They don't care about us, but they just faking, pump faking.
Wow.
And that's when they say that, Dwight.
Okay. Thanks a lot. My God. Wow. And take a couple more calls before we go to a break, and then we'll get your text messages. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning.
Good
morning, DeQuesta.
Yes, morning.
I hope you're doing well.
I am. I hope you are too.
I am. Well, I mean, physically, but I do have some mental issues, Dwight, but don't call silence for me yet.
Would you want dream therapy? How about dream therapy? Could that help?
Are they really mental issues, or are you just distressed?
I am distressed.
Okay.
I am, perplexed. I don't know. I am, I just don't know what's going on in this country, man. It's like, the Attorney General said several months ago that he was going to move to have stiffer penalties for possession of illegal firearms. We haven't heard anything on that. They passed the anti-gang law. We haven't seen anyone hold before the courts who are being involved in gang. Like Kate said, every year these people come to us. They promise us that elect us, and you're going to have a better Bahamas in 5 years. And every 5 years we seem to just digress, and it's like we just keep on like the hamster, just treading on this treadmill, just going around and around in circles, not solving any crucial problems within our country, the things that really matter to us. This whole crime issue, The Prime Minister, who right now his government has the majority of seats in Parliament, he can go to Parliament tomorrow, which is Wednesday, instead of debating these stupid bills that don't even make no sense to us, do things that really matters, put stiffer penalty on the possession of guns and these heinous things that are happening in our country to fix our country, man. You know, our children, the people don't respect the law anymore. CA talked about how the people coming at the police. There's no fear in this country. We are out of order. Somebody say we're just like NATO, no action, just talk only, man. But it's time now for action, man. It's time for the people. Like the guy say, we the people. We have to move and show these people that the power in the people is greater than the people in power. You guys have a good day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That was an unfair swipe at NATO, though. But anyway, they haven't. Thank God nobody has done anything to a NATO country that would require action.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but trust, if it does happen, it won't just be talk. We take one more call? Yeah, let's do one more call, and we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? Hi, good morning.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi.
Dwight, morning.
Good morning.
Morning, DeQuesta.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I must say this morning, DeQuesta is 110% correct. Why would the Prime Minister put impediments or pass impediments that's going to stop him is in his craft when he demits office, or his friends? You understand? That's the only thing that makes sense. It's like a fisherman out there. If they cared, like Papa said, it's like a fisherman out there going to fish for crawfish. And when he pulls up the trap, there are some small ones in there that would cause the craft to continue in the future by throwing them back. But no, these guys ain't throwing nothing back. They watching the babies. The babies get messed up for the greed of their craft. You understand? But there is something else I want to tell you, Dwight, that's going on, and it needs to be addressed. The hospital. I suffered a fractured femur, a broken leg, and I went into A&E, and they put a temporary cast on until I saw the doctor. When I saw the doctor got some information that was not forthcoming, and they discharged me 4 days later with a fractured femur. Okay? Now, of course, I hit the ceiling, because where I go in with a broken leg, they ain't touch it, they ain't do nothing to it to go fall down and break something else. But what is happening at that hospital that I experienced and the eye clinic, Dwight and Nation, the doctors are now soliciting business for their private business at the hospital, because the doctor there told me in order to get my leg fixed, PMH don't have the stuff to fix it. I got to pay $50,000 or $60,000 to go private in order to get it fixed.
Oh, boy. Okay,
this
that's
is what
a
they do
serious
to the
claim.
hospital to poor people, Dwight.
Wow, that's a very serious claim. We cannot substantiate that. But wow, let's take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic this morning, we've got a number of hotspots to tell you about. We've got Prince Charles Drive looking pretty busy for you, especially the major intersections. So Prince Charles and Fox Hill, the traffic is backed up on Fox Hill northbound to that intersection. And then further along, Prince Charles Drive, major heavy traffic there, especially westbound. And from there, straight through to Robinson Road, you're going to be seeing slow-moving westbound traffic. Issues also on Soldier Road, slow-moving north of that intersection with Prince Charles and Robinson Road on the way to Bernard-Wolfen Village. Bernard seeing heavy traffic near schools in the area. Eastern Road also busy for you from San Souci to about Johnson Road. Then we've got Marla Butler Highway, heavy traffic well south of the Fire Trail roundabout if you're heading northbound from Alexandria and Hampster Road, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout up to Tonic Williams Darling. Highway traffic backed up along Fire Trail east and westbound. Heavy traffic on the Faith Avenue side as well. And we're seeing some slow-moving traffic on Prospect Ridge Road. Unusual at this hour. That's north of the roundabout with John F. Kennedy Drive and Tonic Williams Darling Highway. And that's going to lead you straight up to West Bay Street with slow-moving traffic there. We'll try to find out what's going on there, but that is not what we normally see at this hour. You're going to see that especially south of Sanford Drive. And then at Saunders Beach, heavy traffic eastbound on West Bay Street approaching the roundabout with New Providence Highway. That's what we're seeing right now. We'll have an update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a weak ridge of high pressure, the dominant weather feature across the country, supporting gentle to moderate breezes. Weak troughing near the northern islands will enhance the chance of light to occasional moderate shower activity today before dissipating. So that ridge is going to strengthen slightly and continue to dominate for the majority of the week. A low pressure system will develop and move off the coast of the Carolinas by midweek. That's going to drag a cold front near the northern Bahamas before moving across the Atlantic by Friday. And then a deep layered ridge pattern will weaken, and that's going to drag or allow a stronger cold front to move across the country by late Sunday, hopefully finally bringing down the temperatures a bit. For today, though, partly to mostly sunny for most areas, a mix of sun and clouds, especially for the northwest Bahamas, though. And 20 to 30% chance for the northern and northwestern islands, about a 10% chance of showers for the rest of the country. High temperatures again in the mid-80s, around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 67 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Wednesday, partly mostly sunny, turning mostly fair at night. Pretty much the same for Thursday and Friday and Saturday, with highs still in the mid-80s, lows in the upper 60s. Might begin to see some changes by Sunday. We'll tell you more about that in our next weather check. Weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Fall in love with an electric vehicle this February at Easy Car Sales. Take a test drive, feel the spark, and enter to win a 2-night stay at the Grand Hyatt with a $500 resort credit. Visit easy242.com to make a date with a brand new EV from Easy Car Sales. We'll be back after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Gray Select Water Shield $134.20 a roll. Felt 15 pounds $16.50, 30 pound $19.80. Owens Corning Duration Shingles and certain Teed Landmark Shingles $56.56 a bundle. Gallon of roof cement $33.47. All sizes treated dimensional lumber, and of course we have all nails and all screws. We have 5/8 sheetrock $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas, rising up She showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. We're still doing Record of the Year winners.
We spoke about it
week
offline,
two.
right? Yeah.
Week 2. We could
How
go
many
for-
weeks can you go?
we could
About
probably,
a year?
Probably the rest of the month. at
Yeah,
this rate.
okay.
I mean, they've been like
Let's
60,
do it.
70. Yeah,
Let's do
some
it.
of them.
I'm
get a
loving
little,
these, by the way.
The early ones were a little. Anyway, yeah, we continue talking about what's in the news and are getting a reaction to what the Prime Minister had to say about this horrible situation. This father who pleaded guilty to indecently assaulting his daughters, twins, 3 years old at
Yep.
the time, and Prime Minister saying he should have gotten life in prison. He got a 5-year sentence, but the maximum was 8 years if you're
correct.
charged with indecent assault, and he was not charged with an unlawful sexual intercourse, which does carry a maximum life sentence if the perpetrator is an adult and the victim is a minor. Okay. So we're assuming that's why? Because maybe they can't. Why he wasn't charged with this? Maybe they cannot prove there was intercourse, but indecent assault. All right, so let's get your reaction to this. We got a lot of calls earlier. Let's go to the text line. Lots of comments here. This texter says here, are we addressing the issues that cause people to commit certain crimes? Well, that's the question. That's what we're saying. Is that what's happening at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, right? Are they doing that?
Well, we don't know. We would. I know they used to at one point.
No, they do. There are programs. Is everybody in a program?
Is it mandatory?
Well, I don't know if everybody's
Right.
in a program. Are you required to do this? Is it like, is it like electives in college, or you just you choose what you want to do?
What about, like, and this is a good question Chester's asking, like, what about incest?
Who's Chester? Chester who?
It's just a friend of mine.
So you're just randomly mentioning? Because you got to be very careful with that name, because you could be talking about
no, but I don't
the
even know how
Deputy
you
Prime
heard that. I
Minister.
just kind of like whispered that under my breath.
We all heard you.
Like, no,
Is it the Deputy Prime
No,
Minister?
it's just, no,
just a random person named Chester.
Right, like, yeah, just a random friend I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like to meet him one day?
I'm just wondering who it is. You should say, if you bring up names, you should say who it is.
But what about incest? Seriously, let's forget about who was inquiring. Well, what about incest?
What about it?
Could it apply in this instance? Oh, you know what I want someone to explain to me, because I don't get it. What is the difference between incest, right? Of course, I know that it's a relative and a relative.
So you would be charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a relative.
So that's incest.
That's what they're calling it.
And what is the other one? What is
indecent assault?
Yeah, what's the difference? Like, what is sexual?
I think it says it right there in the name. Intercourse versus assault, right?
Okay.
So you cannot prove intercourse. There wasn't intercourse, but you touched, you fondled, you did something. But there was not necessarily intercourse. So I think it's right there.
So intercourse has to be like that thing. It has to, like, like the two become one type.
Oh, I don't think you should say that in this regard. No, not at all.
No, I'm just
But
meaning the
intercourse,
fusion
penetration,
of
as simple as that.
Right. Thank you for that word, because it wasn't coming to mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Well.
Okay.
Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Okay. So they gave him 5 years for indecent assault on the 2 children.
Yes.
Correct.
So why did they charge him? Why didn't he get charged separately for each child? Because you can't have 5 years for the 2. That don't sound right to me, honey. Okay? They supposed to charge him for indecent assault or one twin, and then charge him again of indecent assault on the next twin. You can't have 5 years for indecent assault on the two children.
Yeah.
You understand? That's what I think, and that's what's wrong with this nation. He's supposed to be charged separately, but each one of them is an individual. All right? Each one of them is an individual person. He's supposed to be charged with indecent assault, not on two, on one, and then come back and charge him again on the next one. And that's disgusting. And then it's only 8 months for him to be inside there.
No. He's there for 5 years. He's there for 5 years.
We're not sure how that works.
But
You
it
mean
isn't
you're
a
saying
whole
a year?
year.
Right.
That's what you
they've
mean.
made
Yeah.
attempts to change
Yes.
that. I don't know if it's changed as yet. But
So in about so in about 4 and something years, he'll be back out here. All right? And for the two of them with him, and he molest them. And maybe because they are unable to say talk for them to understand. You understand? But you're supposed to charge them as a person. Anyhow, that's what's wrong with this nation. That's why it keep on happening. Until that change, all right. Anyway, y'all have a good day.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So as I think about this somewhat, Dwight, I have some questions because that's a valid point. In 5 years, whatever that time is, right, or even before for good behavior or whatever, this person is going to be released back into society. Has there been, and not that you may be aware, but what's in place that access level, because he is the father, like how does that play out for future? Because what they're 3, that they're going to be 8. Like, so what's next from the law perspective as it relates to the continued protection of the children?
I can't answer the question. I cannot imagine a scenario where everything's supposed to return to the way it was before. I hope there are other family members involved who can step in and greatly restrict his rights to see these children, unless it's supervised entirely. But I cannot imagine that this would be the case, and that our society would just sit back and say, "Oh well, he is the father. Let him go back and do."
I'm sure it's something a mother would fight. I'm just wondering what would be his legal.
There's been no mention of mother in this matter at all.
So what would be his legal rights? I really wish that someone is able to tell us, like, what would be his legal rights, and do we subject children to, having to have contact with someone that abused them previously? Like, I want to know. Like, we may not have all the answers right here, but I do really want to know. Like, because it doesn't just stop because he got 5 years. The children are gonna get therapy and all this sort of stuff, and this is a lifelong. We would hope that this is going to be a lifelong issue. So I would really like to understand rights as it regards to a situation, in regard to a situation like this.
All right. This texter says, if this wasn't so sickening, this story would be laughable. How can the Prime Minister, who's a lawyer and a KC, say that the guy should have gotten a higher sentence or life? The judge can only sentence based on the confines of the law. Isn't it their job to update and amend these laws? Laws should be changed and evolve as the culture evolves. Do they think it's just their job to sit up in Parliament and the House and have a good time? Get to work, ladies and gentlemen. Update these laws so that the punishment fits the crime. Exactly. Well said. This texter says here, what's going on in this country? Did I hear you right? Foreigners with Bahamian passports given bail because they have work permits?
You did.
You did hear me say that. That's insane. It is crazy.
Yeah.
And somebody else is asking, why were they not immediately deported? How is this possible?
Right. You broke the law.
Yeah, they've pleaded
not guilty.
Not guilty. So.
Right.
But still, right? They did plead.
They did plead not guilty.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, they deny the allegations. Sure. Anyway, they go on to say, father gets 5 years in prison for pleading guilty for molesting his 3-year-old daughters. Really? Served 20 plus, is the other one now. Served 20 plus years and came out and did the same thing. This is the guy accused of raping the 73-year-old woman in her home. Clearly a psychopath, shouldn't have been let back into society. What is going on? Yeah, definitely. And in the same breath, the Prime Minister didn't say that he was going to Parliament to change the law. He ain't serious, but just wants to seem like he cares and is concerned. Well, maybe now that he sees that what the limitations are on indecent assault. But again, the question is, if that is how it is, indecent assault, that's indecent assault. Why was he not charged with something something more?
More serious.
Maybe the intercourse thing is causing that, but there needs to be something in between indecent assault and unlawful sexual intercourse.
Or other charges like, harm to a minor, like all these other charges could have been added
the charges
to,
on it.
right.
Yeah, so there could have been more time here. Something, because it just seems too lenient or maybe too extreme. But there's got to be something in the middle here. This texter says here we go again. The minister making an inflammatory comment, and then the prime minister comes to save the day. Which one are we talking about here? What? Did that happen? They are the lawmakers. Then they can change the laws instead of slapping up in these interviews. Be like Nike and just do it. Well, which minister made the inflammatory comment?
I don't know.
I mean, that does happen, but I don't know if that happened here. Dwight, now you understand the frustration at the games politicians play. I've always understood, Texter, always understood. And I've always been frustrated, okay? Our prime minister under our system is in the position that he can change things, but he chooses not to. My feeling is, why would they fix a system that they benefit from? That's another person saying this. Oh, dear. But sometimes love of country and a moral compass is important.
Yeah, you should have a moral compass.
If you do, you wouldn't necessarily get into certain
fields.
So there you go. That's the problem. End of story.
Certain professions cause you to blur that moral compass.
So anybody inclined to do certain things, you should question the moral compass. I didn't call the profession, but you can assume what you want. This person says here, we do not know whether that was the only charge capable of being levied on the facts. Well, that was the only charge.
They reported.
As you know, the decision to charge with what offense rests in the hands of an independent office holder, yes. So that is where the examination starts. That's what we've been saying, right? May have been the only charge supported by evidence. Yes, that's what we're thinking here. Sure. So,
I mean,
why not the full 8 years then?
Right, something. Or where's the charge for the teenager who found him? Like that's an abuse. She discovered this. There should be
that's a bit of a reach.
No, that's an abuse of a minor. That's
abuse
traumatic
for
to a
realizing
minor.
Your father is a piece of crap.
Yes, Dwight. There should be a charge for her. Because that's an assault for her as well.
A whatless man.
Right, yes.
Okay. Plenty of people gonna get charged. Plenty of people. Anyway, but I hear you. Hopefully the therapy will do something. Hopefully. The magistrate said that it's an impossibility to have a jury trial for these innumerable number of cases. Therefore, she added that where's this coming from? Therefore, she added that some cases must be concluded by negotiations with the perpetrator or lawyer. What doesn't make sense is, why are these the cases, the ones they decide to plea bargain? I mean, that doesn't come up here. This is just what they suggested to the judge in terms of guidelines. He was on trial after he heard his teen daughter testify. Then he said, yeah, okay, fine, I'm guilty.
Yeah, he put her through that and then say, oh, I'm guilty. But it's not just these type of cases, because I'm still perplexed at the drug and gun finding all this stuff on the bed, and there was a plea bargain where this guy got off with a slap on the hand.
That's another story.
So, you understand why does the law?
One.
And that just blew my mind. Like, he should never come out of jail based on what was discovered.
Again, no objection to bail because these people have valid work permits.
Right.
I mean, that's insane.
They're not residents, but I guess they have a legal right to be here because they have a work permit. I tried to figure it out, Dwight. It should have been totally revoked at that particular point in time. But I guess under the guise of innocent until proven guilty, which I think impacts our society and agree. But, we had the defense lawyers in, and they talked about why that's necessary and all
So
of
when
that.
they use their other valid passport to hop on a plane to go back to their country,
at least they're gone.
They'll say, at least they're gone.
Yeah,
okay.
at least they're gone.
So
least we
please,
think
we
they're gone.
encourage you to
Yeah.
get out of this country to save us some time
And
so we
use
don't have to
fraudulent
try you.
documents too. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Right.
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 And I wonder if it sparked an investigation into all of the other, or just doing a review of the other documents that have been submitted for passports. Like, are we doing a thorough review now that we have this incident happening? Shouldn't that be the natural next step?
What do you think the answer is?
It should be the.
I'm sure someone will say we need that.
Right, okay.
Someone will say we need a thorough review.
Mm.
And they'll wag a finger in the air.
But,
We need a thorough
I'm going to say
review.
this, and I'm sure you, and it may not be light, but why are you going to review? I mean, we sell our souls. Like, we just a nation for sale. So if someone slip you on $2,000 to help them get straight, like, why is an investigation going to get done?
Let's go back to the text line. This person says this brave prime minister dissolved the House of Assembly a couple of years ago, saying they had a new plan. But nothing has manifested since then, and they moved from crisis to crisis. Now, even he's acting like he does not know they can change the laws and insult all of us as he does, and shame on the FNM as they sit and wait instead of bringing their own suggestions. We are in so much trouble as a country. Wow. Okay. The Prime Minister will form a committee to study the sentence increase so that their cronies will get paid. That's why I don't vote. That doesn't make sense. These guys are a bunch of clowns, and they swing us every 5 years. It's simply an exercise in futility.
We swing ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we keep voting them in.
This is what I was saying to DeQuesta off air, right? So if you think that these folks get into the House to maintain the status quo so they don't upset the apple cart too much when they get voted out so they can still make money off us. If you think that's what they're doing, and many of you have been saying that all morning, and I refuse to believe that. I just think it's actually incompetence. But anyway, but if you believe that, and yet you vote for somebody 2 or 3 times, you vote them out, and then you put them back in because you can't stand the other people you replaced them with. But you put that one back who you knew didn't do anything because they were trying to protect their. So you are the problem.
Yeah,
you are the problem.
Part of the problem.
You are the problem. The capital T and H and E problem. So don't blame them. I mean, yes, you can blame them.
A part of the problem,
You
Dwight.
are aiding and abetting, and that is
Let's
against
say
the
that
law.
then. Let's say that.
So you should
a
go.
part of the
you need
problem.
to get locked up too. I hope you're happy with what you've done to the Bahamas.
See what y'all did? Now that's clean.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever voted for anybody twice.
You really?
I don't. Wow. Ooh. Oh boy. Anyway, I don't. I really don't think I have.
Oh wow.
I've been in different constituencies.
Okay.
But in any event. See, I'm not the problem.
Yeah. But it's not just that though.
But no, but seriously, you got to really wonder if you could see that you didn't do anything. You didn't do much.
Who's gonna
Why
do
am I putting
that?
you back? Even if it is 5, 10
that?
years later.
No, who's
you
gonna do-
changed, you
No.
grew up, you understand it now.
Dwight, who is going to do that? We are loyal to party colors. If you it doesn't matter who run it. If you are for yellow,
They didn't do anything before.
but if you for yellow, you vote in yellow. If you for red, you vote in red. That's how it
you
is.
remember how they were 10 years ago, right? They didn't do anything.
Right.
Why do you think they've changed?
But there's a loyalty to the party. You're not getting
then
it.
you get what you deserve.
There's loyalty to the party, not loyalty to the country.
Well, then here you go. Look outside. This is what you created. Dwight and DeQuesta, when we hire someone to do a job and they don't do it, we fire them until someone gets it right.
We should.
But don't hire them again 10 years later.
We should.
This person says here, tell the PM to stop the fake outrage and do your job. Change the laws. Too much talk. We are sick of it. Do your job. I agree 100% with Popper. They don't care about us. They care about the sharks more than children and women. They protected the sharks before us. Now look how the sharks are paying us. Well, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. Well, the sharks don't attack Bahamians hardly ever. So I don't know what that's about.
Sorry.
And also, not too many Bahamians are swimming after dusk.
Yeah.
7:30, midnight.
We ain't going too far
Not
with
too
you.
many.
No, we ain't going too far with you, Dwight.
You might go far out, but they don't seem to bother Bahamians.
I am not laughing.
Are our sharks racist?
Yes. Yes.
Oh dear. Dwight, you're playing devil's advocate this morning. Keep up the good work. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm speaking the truth. No devil's advocate. I'm speaking the truth. I don't know which part. Tell me which part. These people need to direct their anger to the politicians. Put laws in the books.
You mean the politicians that they love?
There are no provisions to protect the children from their father. The mother has to petition the court for the paternal rights to be revoked.
Are you serious?
But but I don't think it's as simple as, okay, well, you're out now, come take your kids. I don't think that no one is going to sit back and allow that.
No, the person may not want you to take the kid. But I could see
him showing up and saying this.
These are my kids.
No, whatever.
I'm telling you, like you have such a it's very seriously, like you think so clean. Like no, like yes, these are my kids, regardless of the fact that I did something inappropriate. These are my kids. I want to see my kids. I can see that.
Them.
I can see
them
that
behind,
happening.
Look through that window. See them there. Now go home.
So that the mother should jump on that now and get paternal rights.
Well, we need the rest of the family. Hopefully, there is other.
But then, of course, there are going to be people who are like, oh, well, he had therapy, and this person is better, and blah 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 blah. Like,
well, the teenager is going to be well over 18, hopefully, by the time he gets out.
Yeah.
And so hopefully she can take a bigger role with her sisters and say, I want custody and keep him away from them.
Yeah.
Something like that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Wow. They could have considered the charge of assault with intent to commit rape. Well, I don't know. That's very tricky. How do you prove that? I'm never the problem because I never vote.
That's a problem.
I don't know.
That's a problem.
I don't know. Look at the U.S. They voted and they're getting what they voted for, and now many of them are living in fear. Well, many are also extremely happy and very pleased with what they've done and where it's going. So I don't know. We'll see, though. This texter says here, it's a new day. Work permits for illegal criminals. Well, no, that's not right what you're saying. I'm sure there are work permits but not in this case.
But
right?
they had their work permit before.
They had their work permits and they committed
and hopefully they didn't get
allegedly committed a fraudulent act.
Right.
But the work permit wasn't revoked, which is very, very surprising.
Right. Which it should have been, because you're not supposed to.
But you're innocent until proven guilty.
Infraction. Right. And
but if you do have a passport with your photo in it.
Yeah, and if you do have the fraudulent documents, like it's factual.
Like, what's happening?
Like, why do we even need a court case?
We're wasting time.
That's why they have us for jokes.
Boy.
Generally, people.
Yeah. Okay, now this is texters wishing some terrible things to these men. That's not good. That's not going to solve the problem. And then they come out and do more harm, right?
Yeah.
Let's take these calls before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yeah, it all boils down to legislation change. I think if they had clearer minimum sentences for these sexual offenses against minors, then judge would be within the guidelines. But when that whole assault, that isn't clear. If he would have gotten if they could have proved sexual intercourse, that carries the life sentence. But
right. Yeah.
It also has first offense, second offense. So he still would have been getting 7 years if it was a first offense.
Wow.
So these are stuff that has to be clearer. And when you have sentencing guidelines for these types of stuff, man, that indecent assault charge, that don't have any minimum sentence set. So it allows for the judge discretion,
Yeah.
So I think we would say it's too lenient, but what is the minimum sentence? It's nothing. There's no minimum sentence. So the legislation has to be established for stricter minimum penalties for these, minor offenses against these minors, man. And then I think that's where the focus of Prime Minister, at the end of the day, you are angry at the judge, but, man, you got to be angry at you guys who sitting around the table who have the opportunity to set or to set the act to reflect the sentencing for certain things. Same thing, we had this discussion with the gun charge and with bail and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to set sentences to fit these crimes, man.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
The judge, when the judge go to court and judge, well, there's nothing I could do because this is what the bail say, and basically this is what it says.
Yeah. No, I don't. No rational thinking person is upset with the judge, but I do. Yes, the prosecution, the prosecutor, and the defense lawyers will do whatever, but the prosecutor and the laws that we have, as you say, the politicians.
One more thing, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
It also the time it takes for some of these cases to get to court. You know, you investigate, have everything ducks in a row, and then the case is brought late. Your witnesses disappear, you know, and then the prosecution has to settle, you know, because you can't present these evidence now. When it should be a court dedicated to these particular type of things, because we know we have so much of it in this country, where you could fast track these cases, so when it's fresh, when you have fresh witnesses, and get these people out off the streets, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. And this call before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. This text as we go to the break. This person says here, the Prime Minister is just playing duck and go with us. He makes a compassionate statement, then takes off to make passionate appeals for climate change funding around the world. Wow. Takes no action to fix the issues at home or correct the abuses that are within his ability to do so. This is not responsible leadership during these critical times. His statement with regard to the sentencing of the father who sexually assaulted his toddler daughters is pathetic and unacceptable. Do something about it, PM. Wow. Okay. We're going to take a break and we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on a Tuesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say. Searching but not finding understanding anywhere. We're lost in a mass masquerade.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Bahamas. Join Sherwin Gardner for the Find Me Here album launch on February 28th, 7 p.m. at Bahamas Harvest Church, JFK Plaza. Featuring from the USA, Kalante Gavin and Kateri B, and Positive from TNT. This will be one epic night full of blessings. Get tickets at a live events app or Bahamas Harvest Church and SherwinGardner.com. A blessing's gonna find you here. Powered by Alive.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert Battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill, and Fire Trail, it's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Pinder is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors, Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Gris, and this one, Sky Glance. In this particular tile, I think you'll find coin gray, silver gray, cloud gray, and gray. All of these are seamlessly blended to make the Sky Glance one beautiful tile. The Sky series of porcelain comes in 2 formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot and 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahamar Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving back and supporting healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating live entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshosp.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Maya Rassin Foundation. 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
Are you craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single, a classic, or spicy chicken sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on flavor just because you're on a budget. Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
With escalating global conflicts, are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, former head of U.S. Cyber Command, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
Alpha Sounds Promotion presents Back to Love, an unforgettable evening of smooth R&B vibes and cherished memories. Join us at the Nassau Cruise Port on Saturday, February 15th for a spectacular all-white affair featuring live performances by soul sensations Freddie Jackson,
Hey everybody, it's Freddie Jackson. I'm coming to Nassau, Bahamas, and we are looking forward to the night of love.
also performing Regina Bell. Also featuring Bahamas' very own Essence Band. Back to Love. Saturday, February 15th. It's a spectacular all-white affair at the Nassau Cruise Port. Get tickets online. BahamasEtickets.com. Plantation Bar and Grill. Big Boys Cafe. And Tropics Bar and Grill. For more info, contact 822-6863.
And I hope to see you there.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves. Yes, real talk. I'm not just saying this to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
Time for your final look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We've got a small craft caution in effect across the central Bahamas, small craft advisory in effect for the southeastern islands. High pressure ridging will support moderate to locally fresh winds across the country through tonight. That ridge is going to strengthen slightly and continue to dominate weather across the country for the rest of the week. A low pressure system is expected to develop and move off the coast of the Carolinas on Wednesday. That's going to drag a cold front near the northern Bahamas before moving eastwards across the Atlantic by Friday. As a result of that, the deep layered ridging pattern will weaken, and that's going to allow for a stronger cold front and prefrontal trough to enter the country by late Sunday into Monday morning. So as a result of this, we are, for today, ahead of all of that, looking at partly sunny conditions for most of the country, partly cloudy for the central islands. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of showers for most of the area for today. High temperatures again in the mid-80s, around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 67 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny across the area. 10% chance of isolated showers, pretty much the same for Thursday and Friday. Saturday, partly mostly sunny, turning mostly fair at night. Then Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy over the northern and northwest Bahamas, becoming fair and partly cloudy at night. Rain chances sneaking up a bit as you're expecting some changes to come in. Following Monday, we could reach a high as 86 before things hopefully start to cool down a bit. That is your Morning Blend Weather Check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And we've got your final look at traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, we're still seeing some heavier than normal traffic in the Prospect Ridge area. As you're heading northbound, as you get closer to West Bay Street and just off the roundabout with Tawny Williams Darling Highway, Harold Road, and John F. Kennedy Drive. And Gladstone Road is still a bit busy for you northbound at this hour over on Milo Butler Highway, getting better. But still, as you get closer to Harold Pond, you'll see that heavy traffic for you northbound on the way to the roundabout with Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road, still busy near Carmichael. Carmichael eastbound, approaching Blue Hill, heavy, slow-moving traffic there. And as you get closer to the roundabout with Independence Drive, you're going to see that Independence Drive is backed up in both directions, mainly westbound. And Robinson Road, still busy for you from Prince Charles Soldier Road straight through to Old Trail and East-West Highway. Eastern Road getting better for you. And still issues at major intersections along Prince Charles. That's real-time traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. We'll be back after the news with more Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And this morning, we are talking about home improvement projects and the returns that you get on this. Is it worth it? What is worth it? What are the pros and the cons? What are the do's and the don'ts? To guide us through this, we are very pleased to welcome back. It's been a little while, but from One Oak, Bahamas, Matt Sweeting. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
All right, so this is, I guess, mainly for people who might be selling their properties, or is it? Should everyone be thinking about that?
Yeah, it should be. It should be for everyone, predominantly for sellers, but this could have some implications for buyers as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And for people who just want to increase the value of the property too, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. Although that might have some tax implications for you, I guess. But anyway, all right. So let's talk generally. Is everything worth your while? Should you do stuff for the sake of doing things? It could because you want it to look modern, or should you really thinking about it? Does this make sense in the long run?
Yeah. So good question. So it really depends on where you are in life and what the objectives are. So we see this oftentimes that a house in the inner city, and we like, oh boy, they did way too much with that house. Wow. They could never get the money back. But their end goal might be, hey, listen, I'm comfortable here. My family lives around the corner. My mommy have a house here. I can make this what I want it to be. This is my end all be all. Right. That is their objective, right? But if you have the mind that, hey, listen, we may have another child. We want more for us. We want more security. We want gated. Then you need to be intentional about what improvements and what additions, adjustments you are making to that house. That is the scenario where you say, hey, let's not make this house in the inner city a split level, right? Let's not put quartz countertops and make the master bedroom the whole second floor. Right. That is where you need to be intentional about what do we need to do to make it comfortable for us now, because the next 5 years might be a different story for us.
Yeah, wow. Is it still true that you should never have the biggest, best house in the entire neighborhood, no matter which neighborhood it is? Is that still the rule?
That is still the rule, most definitely. And again, it's based on the mindset that if you ever need to sell a home, and I like to use this picture that I think people need to have. If your neighbor got robbed, if someone was murdered next door, can you immediately or will you have the ability to dispose of that home based on what you've done? Mm-hmm. If you've over improved it, then that means now you're committing to a loss. Right. Wow. And if you have a mortgage, this is what they call underwater. So if you've over improved a home in an area that might be a $200,000 area max, but you put $300,000 into it, you're now underwater. You could never, or you would be hard pressed to sell that home in this market.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, if that's where you're going to live for the rest of your life, and that's what you want,
absolutely,
then go right
absolutely. Put a pool in the house.
In the house, yeah. All right, so let's talk about some improvements that often do bring the best returns. Right. The ones that will make sense. Let's start with kitchens.
Kitchens,
Is that the way to go? Is that always the best thing to do?
Absolutely. Kitchens are always the best bang for buck. Mm-hmm. Kitchens and master bedrooms. You know, you think about who wants to enjoy this house and who is paying, right? The primary suite is going to be enjoyed and occupied by the person that's buying the house more often than not. And so they want the place where they live and the place where they cook to be comfortable.
Yeah.
We can make the compromises on the guest bedrooms, the niceness of the guest bedrooms and guest bathroom, maybe even the living quarters. But we want those two areas to be absolutely nice. And that is where, if you're considering a renovation, where you should put primary focus.
Any particular things you need to be thinking about in the kitchen?
Certainly. So what we see getting highest return is improvements like granite, stone countertops. It could be a variety of stone options, right? Hardwood cabinets. Bahamians have this thing about pressed wood, right?
Right.
And we getting out of the Formica age. And so we want these kinds of improvements in your kitchen. We want larger kitchens. Open floor plan is a newer thing, right? The days have gone where you got the closed off living room and the closed off dining room and the closed off kitchen. And so the mind is open floor plans, stone countertops, hardwood cabinets, and if we move into the bedroom, we want a walk-in closet. Y'all got too much clothes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So in the kitchen, do you think having modern appliances, or are buyers looking for that? Do they want homes that come ready-made with the appliances in it, or are they preferring to bring in their own? Should that be an investment that you look at?
Yeah, absolutely. They want it to be as turnkey as possible. What we're finding, especially within this market, right? We know that we're in a bit of a housing crisis. It's challenging for someone to make a home purchase happen. And so after I've achieved this tremendous obstacle of getting the home, I want as least trouble as possible.
Right.
And that means, listen, if appliances are in there, furniture is in there, if you're willing to leave some of your clothes for me, I'll take that as well. But people want a turnkey option. And so, yes, choosing the right appliances is going to help you to get better value for your resale.
So I noticed if you try to keep up with HGTV, you'll go bankrupt, because a few years ago stainless was everything,
Right.
and now they're talking about color and all kinds
Right.
of.
The trends
What
change.
should you
The
do?
trends change.
Is white okay? Is stainless
Is beige
timeless?
okay? Like, just keep it neutral, or what do you do?
Neutral is definitely the way to go. And we see this all the time where, listen, your personal preferences, and again, it's all about what is the long-term objective. Again, we talk about that person who, this is my end all be all. Well, by all means, make each room a different bold color, right? Purple, green, yellow.
Right.
But again, if the mind is to sell this home in the future, neutral is the way to go. And so we're talking throughout the home, we want the most palatable colors and themes accepted by most people, right? And so that means that you want neutral tones on your walls, you want stainless steel cabinets, you ain't gonna pick the black granite with the white veins throughout it, because that's a bit polarizing, right? You don't want the colored cabinets that may be off to some people. And so you want to go with traditional styles when the mind is, I want highest return and resale potential.
And I see a lot of people are like changing out windows to windows that open out, or not, they're just changing out the windows. What are your thoughts about upgrading windows? Is that a must, a plus? Like, how does that aid?
Definitely has an effect on value. And again, we'll continue to talk about these two mindsets: person who stay forever, person who's looking for resale potential. It has an effect on the appraised value. And so when an appraiser comes by, he's looking at a number of things. What improvements have you made to the home? And those are hurricane impact windows. Not only create greater ease for you during hurricanes, we know that, right? But it has a direct effect on value. The appraiser is going to go down and he gets very, very detailed about it. Granite countertops. How long is the pavement? Did you put a fence around it? Is it chain link fence or is it symphony fencing, right? And so all of these things are going to have an effect on value. And so, it makes it easier for you as a resident when it comes to hurricanes. but it also helps your resale value as well.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned the bedrooms as well, the master bedroom. What are some things that you mentioned? Not the crazy colors if you're selling, but what else should you be doing in there or not doing in there?
And I'll take one of the most difficult things in this day and age, Dwight, is trying to remind ourselves that we should stop saying in the States, stop saying master bedroom.
Was it primary now?
Primary bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah, and we
maybe we shouldn't let certain people forget. But anyway, that's another show. Oh boy,
I know, right? And so, back to your question, Dwight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what should you put in the primary?
Well, I think what we find is that people want a little bit more square footage in their master, and so I think architects, contractors, even homeowners that are conceptualizing what we want this property to be, we need to figure out: do we spend a lot of time in the living room? Do we need the separate dining and entertainment room? I from what I see, a lot of families aren't sitting down to the dinner table anymore.
Right.
Wow.
And so we really need to figure out what is our lifestyle like, and what do we need? If we're going to spend a lot of time in our bedroom and the living room, we watch TV and we usually are eating dinner in the front of the television. That's the sad state we in.
Right.
But if that's the case, then maybe we want a little bit more square footage in the bedroom. We know that in the last apartment we were in, I had the closet in our room, and you had to put your stuff in the next room, right? And so that means, why don't we get a bigger closet in this home? Maybe even a his and her closet. If we go into the bathroom, interestingly enough, a lot of people want the soaking tub option. They hardly use it. It's almost similar to the pool kind of concept.
Right.
But again, it's a great amenity that not only has effect on your value, but gives you that option now to shower or soaking today. What I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, I have two questions that basically tie into each other. The first one is, does it need an ensuite? That's what you call it, the bathroom for the master. And then secondly, what if you don't have a master? What if all of the bedrooms are the exact same 10 by 10 or 10 by 12 or whatever? How do you distinguish, or how do you make the primary stand out more?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually there's a bit of an upgrade in terms of finishes in the primary suite. While there may have been Formica or a lower priced stone in the guest bathroom, you would see a little bit greater amenities in the primary suite. So you may have double vanities. That's an upgrade. And again, as a married man, we know how important that is, right?
Right.
Our wives usually have a whole array of things on their counter, and possibly us the same. A shower and a tub and stand-up shower gives us the ability to possibly both use the shower facilities at the same time, and so things like that are important. What else are we seeing? 2 shower heads in the shower is also a great amenity. It's of low cost difference, right? Because the plumbing's already there. Shower heads aren't that expensive. And so that's an amenity that could do well. It skews more on the luxury side, and I think it'll pay off well. But yeah, larger bedrooms, higher ceilings, again, is a nominal change in price, but has considerable impact.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what if you don't have a master suite? What if all the bedrooms are the same? How do you make this marketable for that person who enjoys spending time in the bedroom, but all of them are standard size bedrooms, even though the married couple or the primary person is staying in one? What can we do from an upgrade perspective for that particular bedroom?
Certainly. So one of the things, and I know that's all too well, I'm living this as we speak, and so as we move into another place, I'm thinking about, do we actually need the king size bed? And if we didn't have the king size bed, what amenities could we bring into the bedroom, right? And so what would be good is, when my wife are putting on her shoes, maybe we have a chair in there, right? So a smaller bed gives us the ability to do that, and that adds value, practical value.
Right.
A makeup table in the room. She won't be near the natural light, right? And so things of that nature, a larger television, a more comfortable bed. So again, we're talking the guest bedroom and the primary bedroom, the same size. What can we do to give us personal value, but also potentially in resale is a better bed, right? A nice, comfortable bed. Maybe even a bigger television if you're a TV watcher in the room, right? Bigger television. They have beds at one of the local furnishing stores right now that you could heat either side. You could have harder, softer either side, right? And so things like this are going to have a direct impact on you and your quality of life, but also on resale as well.
Okay. We're selling beds. We're selling places with the beds.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
People are keeping the bed.
So now, you do all of this, right? And you either do it for your comfort or you do it for resale, right? There is a cost involved as it relates to ongoing maintenance. What would your recommendations be? Because home ownership is a beast in and of itself.
Certainly.
So on an annual basis, perhaps, what are some of the things that homeowners, whether this is for, your lifespan or this is for maybe, an investment, what are some of the things that we should be doing like on a consistent basis to upkeep the value?
I'll talk about this from two perspectives. Number one, how do you upkeep the value is maintenance, right? Oftentimes there may be a tree that's growing over it could be your neighbor's tree even, that's growing over your roof. And what I've learned is that these trees hanging over your roof is going to compromise that portion of the roof if this happens over a long period of time, right? Debris that could be falling on the roof does the same. You may consider insulating the home at the outset, which could be anywhere from around $1,000, depending on the size of the home. But again, when you think about a $200, $250 light bill versus a $90 light bill because it's insulated, when you do the cost comparison on that, it would be better to do the insulation, right? And so you'd be saving from that perspective. What else can you do? You may consider getting trees that do not produce a lot of debris. Trees are good. They provide shade. Sometimes they provide fruit. But again, you got a tree that's putting down a lot of bushes. That increases your maintenance costs. Right. Maybe you want to do a low maintenance yard. We don't usually go in the backyard. Let's just put P-Rock in the back there, right? And so that means the guy got to come by for 25 minutes and $30. He say, I'll knock out your yard. And so things of that nature. Investment in solar, again, that's a step up, but that pays off over time. Okay. So you got to have the liquid to start with. With that. Yeah.
We're talking with Matt Sweeting with One Oak Bahamas. I want to go back to bathrooms. We've got many homes here with the shower bath combo, but some people are deciding to take out the bath and just have a stand-in shower. Do you recommend that if you're selling?
If you're selling, I think what we found is that more often than not, newer construction is having shower stalls only in the guest bathroom. If they do not have the combo, then they're going with the stand-up shower, and that's not been a deterrent at all. The buyers in this market are generally younger, mobile, and so they don't have a problem. And on top of that, people just don't have the time as we used to take regular baths. And so showers are the thing.
Yeah.
Well, how does that impact family purchases, though? Like if you have small kids, they may want to have a tub versus, like a shower. So
certainly. Yeah, and so families with younger kids definitely prefer the tub. But again, there are market factors as well that play into this. And so when we think about where the market is, right? If a lady with a toddler walks into a home and there's a stand-up shower only because we're in such a housing demand and housing crisis, she could say, let's get this. I just prefer to get a plastic.
Right.
A plastic tub for the baby.
Put in the shower.
He could be a baby for a while, but we need to be into someplace.
Okay.
So would you recommend it? you swap out all of your bathtubs? Would you at least keep one? What would you say to somebody who's trying to figure out what's the best option?
Again, we're going to talk to these two demographics of the person who says, I'm in here forever and I enjoy taking baths. Keep the tub. And if this person is saying, well, we don't really take baths, we may sell in the future, I don't think it's going to have a major impact on resale potential if you personally prefer to have tubs instead of showers.
Excellent. You talked about outdoor spaces as well. How much attention are people paying to your flowering plants? And does that make a difference?
Your barbecue pit.
All these things. I mean, do people really say, these flowers look horrible here, I don't want this house? Is that an influencing factor?
Hardly. And again, it's just based on the kind of market we're in. We don't see, or I have not seen, especially in the demographic that we specialize. Our company is predominantly under $1 million, and we do a lot of business under 500,000. And so in that demographic, gardens are secondary.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And people are a little bit less concerned about. They want a nice lawn, maybe a good hedge. We don't see a lot of gardening within the properties that we sell, and it's not extremely high priority. Oftentimes, our clients are working professionals. They don't have the ability to maintain a garden, vegetables, things of that nature, and so we haven't seen that a lot. Nor are new developments paying a lot of attention or a lot of interest in that just because there's not a lot of demand for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me just tell you this quick story. When I purchased my house, one of the things that I loved was the back area. It's not, it's like concrete and all, and very low maintenance.
Right.
And because I was a busy professional at the time, I visualized myself sitting out there, hanging out, chilling or whatever. And I can tell you that I've been in this house almost 15 years, and I may have been in my backyard 3 or 4 times.
Oh my God.
But it gave me this false impression of having time to be able to sit out there and have a glass of lemonade on a lounge chair or whatever. So how important does that, or how does that, I mean, obviously it plays into the psyche because it did for me, but how does that impact a buyer's decision on whether they will make a purchase or not? Is having that sort of, lounge space important?
Yeah, most definitely. And it's almost a similar mindset of I want the soaking tub there, even though I might only use it once a year. And we sold a home recently that had a large side yard, and I sold it. We don't have to do much selling in real estate, like what you need to buy this. But one of the selling points was, listen, it has this considerable side yard, and so when you entertain,
right,
you could have your tent, and bunch of people could park, and so it had that ability to do it, and that was a value proposition for this client. And so, yeah, absolutely, these things play a part. For sure.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's take some calls. We got a few messages on our text line. You can text us as well, 422-4796, 323-6232 to call in, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. We're talking with Matt Sweeting with One Oak Bahamas. On home improvement projects, the do's and don'ts and the returns on your investment. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316. I've got a texter asking about something very specific. Okay, this is not related to our topic, but that I guess One Oak has been marketing for Ivory Plaza.
Yeah.
So they're asking which fast food franchise is going there.
Very specific.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is
Stay tuned.
This is on Yamacraw.
No. So this will be the 4th Ivory Plaza.
Oh,
it's
there's
on
more than
Michael
one.
Road West. We're west of Bacardi Road.
Okay.
This is about 22 units. When I do the video there, I say over here we got a fast food chain. We can't say yet. We
Mm.
can't say yet. But it's going to be one of the bigger fast food chains. It's only but 3 or 4 of them, so it ain't that big of a mystery.
Right.
So how many Ivory Plazas are there?
This is the 4th. This will be the 4th.
Wow.
So Yamacraw, Joe Farrington, Robinson Road, and now Carmichael Road West.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Large grocer, a variety of stores. We got 22 spaces there, give or take. And we have the gamut, and so we're merely trying to fill up the remaining 7 of those now. Yeah,
Is the one on Yamacraw decided yet what's going to be in there? And you know what's happening there?
This is a project that I didn't work on specifically with them, but when I drove by recently, I think I saw a barber shop, maybe a party space, something like that. I'm uncertain.
Okay, all right, interesting. All right, let's see if this caller will get us back to the topic. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and your guest.
Hi.
Good morning. I think, sir, insulation should be part of the building code. Insulation's like, if you notice, when the current go off, the heat just drops on you. Because all separating that heat from you is one piece of sheetrock. And that kills your electric bills. That should be part of the building code. But in my house here, I built a house after I learned about the R19 oven coining, so I had to go up on that low, and then the build roof higher too. The higher it is, the more vents you could go through, and I could stick in my head. But I had to lay down that insulation for the AC to cycle on or off. The average house in the States, 3 bedroom, 2 baths, only needs a 3 ton, and that turns off and on all day. But here, that AC runs all day because it's fighting that heat from the ceiling. I think the government needs to put insulation in our building code, and also an open floor plan. That's something new. Because in my mother's house, we built out in '87, we have a counter in the kitchen, a sitting counter in the kitchen, rather than having now an open floor plan. I think that's the best way. If you're building now, an open floor plan, and have a bar. It's like a bar, and you can sit and watch a cook and talk and talk and eat. Or have a separate kitchen, separate this, separate that. That just and then we learn, right? I have a 70-foot building I built, 70 foot by 40, but I put hallways in the rented apartment. And by me using the 4-inch blocks, I can't change it. So I didn't need to put no hallways in no apartment. I killed space. So what did they think of that?
Interesting. Let's get him to respond. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So to his point about making insulation a part of the building code, you know, what we find, and again, this is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, is that we are finding that it's challenging for people to get the home ownership obstacle done. And so I think the mind is, let's make the processes least challenging as possible. And so let's do the minimum with security in mind, but let's do the minimum so that we could get people into homes. And if they wanted to upgrade, then they do that later.
Okay.
And oftentimes that's the same mindset that I'm telling people who are making their first purchase. Oftentimes the thought process is, listen, I want the first home to be perfect, but let's keep in mind that it's just the first home.
Wow.
Let's get you into it. It may not be in the ideal area. It may not have the large bedroom that we talk about, the large primary bathroom. It may not have check all the boxes, but you need to get into something, get in the game. And then 3 to 5 years later, we circle back and we could talk.
Yeah.
He made another point about, which I think is a great idea, about figuring out what's your lifestyle like.
Right.
If we're not sitting down at the table, the breakfast bar could work.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I think he's onto something.
That brings me to air conditioning and ductless versus central. Does it make a difference in resale? Do people care about that? What do you say?
It does not have a direct impact on resale. We have, we recently broke a record, maybe about a year now, in West Winds for a 3-bedroom condo, and and naturally that might have had central AC, but instead it had ductless units throughout. Not one single person is saying. The only issue becomes when it becomes an aesthetic issue on the exterior.
Right.
And if you could conceal those properly, then we have no issue at all.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, and to your guests. Another simple upgrade is Alexa. You can have home automation, very affordable now, where you come in and you say, lights on kitchen, lights off kitchen, light in the kitchen, the yellow color to make it feel warm, or make it the whiter color. It's just changing a few bulbs and getting Alexa, and it's very affordable. It makes the house look high-tech, and it can also tie into security, TV, the whole gamut. When it comes to the last caller, one day maybe we'll do a show on what you can do, small, affordable things to bring down your electricity bill without solar. I took a $1,000 bill and made it $100. You see, when you put in the central, the most efficient central is about 21 SEER at 5 tons. But you can get 42 SEER. So I put in the little split units that burn the same electricity as a ceiling fan.
Right.
Wow. And so when you explain to the buyer what you've done to make the property more efficient, so they're going to make that bank payment of $2,000, $2,500 a month, and that god-awful insurance. But when you tell them, hey, instead of this $1,800 electricity bill or $800, now you're going to pay $120.
Right.
Now they're very interested in your upgrades.
Yep.
So and I did the lowering of the electricity bill by removing all insulation. No R19, no foam. There's no insulation in my attic. You want me to tell you how to do it real quick? Paint the roof white. That reflects the heat, so your house gets cooler right away. Paint your house a light color so that the heat is reflected. And put in proper vents. You know the little vents around the house in the boxing? Yeah, make sure they're not full of paint. So new air can come in. And at the top of your roof, you put in a $300 solar attic fan. So it doesn't even use electricity, but it sucks all the heat out of your attic. So if upstairs is cool, downstairs the air condition doesn't have to work hard. So one day let's do an energy efficiency show, Dwight, because it could really help Bahamians save incredible money. I mean, our power company should be doing this. Florida Power and Light does it. So I'll come on. I wouldn't charge you, Dwight. We can help Bahamians.
Thank you so much.
We can help Bahamians save incredible money on their light bills.
Yeah. Great idea, Graham. I'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So, that's an interesting text there. I'll read that. Maybe we'll talk about that off here. This one here. Well, maybe we should talk about it on here. Let me read this to you. I don't think this is accurate, and it's unfortunate that so many people think this is the case. But anyway, this person says, Dwight, Matt is selling the dream of buying and owning a home in this economy without the high funding needed to purchase a house and also living in a nice neighborhood and paying the property taxes in that nice neighborhood. Looks like many of us will still be living in our family's homestead or rent a place for the rest of our lives. That's not the reality, though.
No, that's the reality.
Is it the reality? I mean, there's still some affordable. No, there are not affordable properties out there.
Affordable is becoming.
Oh dear.
No. Affordable. They're saying, people are saying affordable and housing are two words you can no longer put together in the Providence. And listen, I sell homes. I do not sell dreams. We did a case study. Maybe a year or two called Buy Now or Rent Forever. And the whole concept is real estate in New Providence is appreciating so quickly that if young, ambitious professionals with the mind of home ownership do not take this reality seriously, we may be in reality renting forever and moving back at home.
Wow.
That is the reality of it. And so, my admonition to people who have the mind, I want my own place, you need to take the next 2 to 5, I say probably a window of maybe 10 years to get your stuff together so that you could make property and home ownership a reality.
Yeah. That is crazy in a country with so many different islands.
Right.
So many of them are just sitting there.
Right.
That we are all piling up here in New Providence and talking like this.
Which is probably driving up the cost.
Right.
We're insane.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very scary.
I mean, so Matt, while we are this texter is talking about the fact that it's almost out of reach for a lot of people, you do have people who are opting to not do the traditional home anymore because, people are saying that just having a house is you're just injecting a lot of money, blah, 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 and you're not getting any returns really. And so people are going towards like duplexes and triplexes and that sort of. What sort of trend do you see happening with that? And what are some of the things that should be considered from getting this place rented perspective that they should be considering as well?
Yeah, public transportation has always been a key factor in rentability, especially based on the demo that you're renting to, right? And so if you're in the under $1,000 range, which again is now a rarity, it's interesting how fast these rental rates are moving. I been married about 6 years now. It was my 7th year, and 7 years ago I rented an apartment off Boatswain Hill for $700. That same apartment now I'm renting apartments, but the same apartment that would have been $600, a one bedroom for $600, we would now be renting for $1,200. And so we're talking in less than a decade, rental rates have essentially doubled in price. Is brought up a lot of talk about rent control and so forth.
And are you getting more for that money?
You were getting less.
Less.
You were getting less. I was getting a 2-bedroom 7 years ago for $700. Now a 1-bedroom is $1,200. And so you're getting less in arguably a lesser desirable area as well. And so, the next opportunity that there is on one side, this presents a great opportunity for people that have liquidity and have debt service rate to be able to make purchases happen. But it's a dire picture for those of us that aren't making enough yet and that are still trying to reach that goal of saving enough and making enough to make the purchase happen.
Right.
My goodness. Let's take some more calls before we run out of time here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I do one more thing. Now, what Graham is saying is perfect. I mean, we need to fight this energy during the summer. But I'm asking this gentleman, do you put the sheetrocks on the inside of your walls? Because I noticed at my condo in the States, it's an 8-inch block, but they have sheetrock so that when the walls get hot, it would not be a burden under the AC. And when you buck into it here, I get scotch because there's no sheetrock.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
And so again, what we're finding is that construction material and cost of construction has gone up so high. The question that a contractor and a buyer needs to ask is she sitting down or they're sitting down with the contractor? They're saying, "Mister, we need to be into our house. What can we do to get this cost down?" The contractor's saying, "Well, we could go to contractor grade finishes." That means that all of the interior walls are going to be drywall, right? We can use Formica. We can use ceramic. Your ceilings are similarly going to be drywall. And so we're talking all interior walls, drywall. This has a direct cost implication and gets them into the home. They can insulate later.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Very interesting.
Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. All right. I have plenty of questions based on that, but that might be a whole other show. But so are there other tips that you have for folks? Don't do this if you, right? This will definitely affect your resale value and other things that you say, yes, do it now.
Yeah. So we have a house that the owner wanted a larger bedroom, and that's a reasonable. We talked about this earlier. But now she's looking to resell. Now her 3-bedroom is now a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Oh.
And so for someone that's looking to buy a house, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. I'll tell you the next thing is the building out of pocket. And this is a bit of one that's nuanced, right? So I have a client now that needs to sell their lot, but they've made some improvements to the lot. They've started the foundation. The minute you start any improvement on the lot, it limits your selling potential because the bank is now saying anyone that we would consider for this mortgage needs to be qualified for the purchase of the lot plus the completion of the building.
Right.
And so if you had a 3,000 square foot building that you started, once you come out of the ground, the bank's saying, well, you need to finish that. And so if that's a $400,000 house that you were building, now you need to qualify for the house and the lot.
Really? So, what if you say, I'm just going to knock it down?
You would have to show the bank, and this varies from institution to institution, grain of salt, but you would have to show the bank that I have the ability to knock it down. Like you need to put those monies on reserve, get the quotes for it.
Oh, wow.
Or you have to knock it down pre-approval.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's it.
So is it better
Wow.
to purchase property and then build later, or what is your recommendation?
Again, it depends on where this family is, right? If they have the savings and DSR now to make the property purchase happen, I would suggest they do that.
Okay.
If they say, well, let's wait another year and then we'll have all the ducks in a row to make the house purchase happen or duplex, I might suggest that as well.
Mhm. And if I'm selling vacant land, if I clear it and put some trees on it, does that help increase the resale potential? That doesn't do anything. Just show the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah?
They just want to know the size of the land.
They do want to know the size
Okay.
of the land.
So don't waste the money doing that.
Yeah, I might suggest you keep the boundaries clear. Have a guy go by and just make sure the boundaries are clear, but nothing more than that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's some good stuff to know there. Matt Sweeting with One Oak. How do people reach you if they want to get more information?
Certainly. mattsweeting.com is the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Whole website.
Website. or 808-6868.
Okay. Great stuff. Great having you here this morning. Matt Sweeting. Appreciate it. We're going to take a break and be back with the final few minutes of Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the lottery of love that everybody wins.
I love you.
Everybody Wins is giving away over $100,000 in cash prizes in the Lottery of Love.
I love you.
All February long, every $20 spent, you'll receive a raffle ticket. The more you spend, the more chances to win. And you could be among the 30 winners randomly selected on February 28th to win $10, $20, or even $30,000.
I love you.
It's the Lottery of Love at Everybody Wins. Remember to game responsibly and get ready to win.
With escalating global conflicts, are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from KT McFarland, former Trump National Security Advisor, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Attention, valued customers of the Water and Sewage Corporation. We wish to inform you that our office at the Mall of Marathon will be closing on Friday, February 28th, 2025. But don't worry, we are making it easy for you to continue managing your accounts with us from the comfort of your home or on the go. We encourage you to take advantage of our convenient digital payment options. Visit our website at wsc.com.bs to make payments securely. Call us at 302-5630 to pay by phone, or use your preferred financial institution to pay directly. Switching to these online options helps you save time and ensures you never miss a payment. We are here to make your experience as smooth and easy as possible. Thank you for being a valued customer, and we look forward to serving you in new ways.
It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. NASA Airport Development Company could begin the expansion of Lynden Pindling International Airport next year if it solves its first refinancing hurdle this year. That's according to the company's president and CEO, Vernice Joaquin, speaking to reporters at the Roots Americas conference at Atlantis, explaining that airline traffic has expanded the airport so significantly that it is now time for NAD to contemplate how to handle the increased traffic and into the future. Joaquin says along with upgrading parts of the airport to handle more traffic, NAD will meet with airline representatives at Roots Americas to negotiate how airlines can start to move some of their flights outside of LPIA's peak 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. arrival and departure window. Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce President James Carey says that it would be great if the Grand Lucayan Resort is finally sold, but that the property is in bad shape after years of being empty. Carey says that notwithstanding the government effectively managing the Grand Lucayan since August 2018, after purchasing it from Hutchison Whampoa for $30 million, there is mold in the building, and the proposed buyers would have to do a significant amount of remediation. A report by the Tribune has identified Florida-based developer Concord Wilshire Companies as the potential Grand Lucayan purchaser, but negotiations are reportedly still ongoing, and nothing has been finalized as yet. Bahamas Air is mulling the acquisition of Airbus 220s to expand its fleet beyond the 10 aircraft it currently has and extend its service to countries and cities further afield than it currently services. That's according to Managing Director Tracy Cooper, saying the decision to acquire the aircraft and the number of aircraft that might be acquired is hinged on the capital constraints of the airline. He explains the airplanes would be leased if the go-ahead is given for the acquisition. And total exports increased by 27% in the fourth quarter of 2024. That's according to the Bahamas National Statistical Institute in its Foreign Trade Q4 2024 report. Total exports, domestic and re-exports for quarter four, totaled $196 million, resulting in an increase of 27% when compared to the same period last year. The major categories of exports consisted mainly of miscellaneous manufactured items totaling $57 million, 29% of total exports. Food and live animals totaling $39 million, and machinery and transport equipment totaling $25 million. Overseas, U.S. stocks rose Monday as Wall Street took U.S. President Donald Trump's latest threats on tariffs in stride. The S&P 500 climbed 0.7%, coming off a losing week. And that was bookended by worries about how potential tariffs could push up inflation and threaten the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 167 points, or 0.4%, and the NASDAQ Composite rallied 1%. As Nvidia and other big tech stocks led the way. The bond market also remained relatively firm, with Treasury yields making only modest moves after Trump said over the weekend that he would announce 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports, as well as other import duties later in the week. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday, your market movers, AML Food Limited moving 1,017 shares, closing down 33 cents to 610. Commonwealth Bank moving 11,000, up 2 cents to $5.03. Consolidated Water down 5 cents, closing at 5.26. And Emira Incorporated up 3 cents, closing at 9.52. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,094.83, down 0.32. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Together from the start.
And Quetzadine, as we wind down the show, just wanted to quickly mention, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more, but we didn't have the time. But the government signed that MOU to restore the Dundas, $348,000 to help with the urgent repairs there. We know we had them on a couple weeks ago, and hopefully that'll get them back on the path. They need $1 million to really get things where they want it to go, and we implore corporate Bahamas to step up and to help
assist
the Dundas, all the wonderful things that are always happening there. It's just shocking that we haven't